Cancel my drink.
I asked him what's his favorite
What is it?
drink.
No, what does that mean? Cancel my drink, though, Bobby. Bobby Horvath. How you doing, buddy? Good morning, Scott, Angie, Lizzie, Trisha, Ben Khan. By the way, I didn't say happy Yom Kippur to Ben yesterday.
Yes, well, you're saying it now, and I'm sure he's hearing it. A day late, but not $1 short.
I had so many things on my mind yesterday. Nobody knows what that's like.
Yeah, nobody has a lot of things on their mind these days. Nobody does.
Cubra Libra. You asked what his favorite drink was.
Oh, okay, very good. I guess he wants that drink canceled.
Just joking.
Just joking.
Good morning, Greg and Les. Hey, guys. Speaking of drinking, I was drinking a little more. I was at an event last night, as you knew.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. But it's fun to see a guy who has started a business. Well, Chris Pronger, St. Louis.
Oh yeah, okay.
I've known.
Was it at his house?
Our kids have gone to school with each other for a few years. No, it wasn't at his house, but
he was there.
No, but he's out selling his Journey. He's got a whiskey. It's called Journey. He and his brother started. And my point in bringing up that is the fact that it's interesting to see this guy who, he's done well for himself.
Yeah.
But man, stressing.
He was stressed. Oh, yeah. So you could relate to that.
Got to get everywhere out, trying to get his stuff out.
Yeah.
But it is good. We'll talk about Journey on the show.
That's great. Yeah. Starting a business is
He's like, you're going to promote it on your show? And I'm like, well, yeah. How much am I going to get for every bottle we sell?
Yes. And are you going to listen? Tell him he needs to listen.
I don't know if he's up this early.
He might not be, but he can listen later. Just say, listen later.
He said, I had 35 years of good whiskey drinking to come up with the best whiskey.
Good for him.
I texted Ben at Wendy's. I was like, yeah, get this stuff in there. He's like, we'll do it. It's like, I like it.
That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, starting a business is one of the hardest things you can do. And then once it's all successful, then it's the most gratifying thing you can do.
Good morning, Mary. Hey, David. Bendy. Bob's going to take a Bloody Mary.
I want a Jamaica Me Happy, and it's not even expensive, but it makes me happy. A Jamaica Me Happy by the pool is just so good. You know what that is?
Yeah.
I love that.
I do. Tuesday. We've got, hey guys, if you haven't checked it out yet, check out the merchandise site. We continue to have people jumping in, getting things every now and then. And we appreciate that. We're going to add a cancel this coffee too.
We are.
with organic coffee. I didn't know there was a difference.
There is a difference.
And that's our sales.
That's our account
Crystal
executive.
Mathena, her and her husband brew it. He's a veteran. They roast it. They get organic coffee and they roast it at their home.
It's awesome.
And get it out. But I said, if it doesn't come in a K-cup, I won't drink it. I'm sorry.
But she said she'd crush it for you, and you can get your own K-cups. Did you know that? Those little silver things, and you can put it in there.
I don't know anything about coffee.
Well, so you can
It was
get
just in
any
recent
coffee
years that I started drinking.
and put it in a Keurig.
She feels bad for me.
She does feel bad for you.
She looked at me like I should feel shame for drinking K-cup coffee.
Yes. Well, it was the brand of K-cup coffee too, I think. And Trisha will sign her up for the coffee.
What do you mean sign her up?
She wants some of it.
It'll have, I believe it's going to have a Cancel This logo on it.
Yeah, eventually. I don't
with
think
the
American
Legacy Coffee Company.
That's going to be great. Speaking of Crystal, hey, Joe, do you have that picture of the little mugs that you took yesterday? Do you have that?
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I'll put it in.
Okay.
I don't have it in there yet.
Okay. We can mention that too. That was so sweet that Crystal got those from them. It's brothers.
I was asked not once, not twice, but 3 times last night. 3 different times by people for advice or start one is podcast. Starting a podcast and showing me their podcast. And,
did they show you their podcast? Were they?
Well, it's if they're trying to get started.
Yeah.
When you first start off, I mean, there's a lot to get done. There really is. It's not just you can sit in front of a camera. Hey, that's fine. It's great.
But you can do that. But the sustaining for how long, the longevity of the podcast, that's really what you got to look at. You can have 1 or 2 really great podcasts, but it's consistency of doing it over and over and over. And a lot of people quit.
Well, I was even just talking about the technical standpoint first.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know as much about that as you all do. You guys all make it look easy, and it's not. I know it's not.
Well, I mean, I have to teach Joe a lot.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah.
He's a good learner, but
look at Joe shaking his head.
He's an all right dude.
Yeah. We're going to keep him. We're going to keep him. And he's like rolling his eyes at those 2 non-technological yahoos in there.
No, building the studio is the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life.
I'm sure. But it is, for anybody that's not been here, it is top notch to work in this studio.
Mary says, I'm walking out now. I want to get back in and have more coffee. We're going to put that on the website, by the way. And the coffee coming up. It'll be on our website. And, we'll do it in an affiliate market type of way. Whatever you guys sell not only helps Crystal and her husband and their family. Blasphemy. Robert Peterbaugh says, Vic talking about Joe. Also, a little percentage, tiny percentage would go back to us. Did you guys see that Josh Hawley made an appearance at the UAW picket line? Yes. I did not, Paul.
I did.
Was that yesterday?
Yeah. Yep. And then apparently President Trump, tomorrow, he's not necessarily on the picket line, but he's going to be talking to UAW workers. So both of them have gotten behind the workers.
That'll be at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Biden's, whatever you want to call it's happening today. They came in to try to undercut Trump doing it first.
That's exactly right.
Such is life. All right. We got a little mix going here. Let's go ahead and start the show. Hey guys, welcome to canceltheshow.com. I'm Vic Faust. Time to roll up our sleeves and get things cooking, get things cracking, and in Lizzie's case, whacking on a September 26th Tuesday morning. Always good when I can get a smile from Joe.
I was about ready to hit the button.
I was waiting for the button. I thought we were, how close? We are. How far we have come. I was waiting for the button to get kicked. I'm cracking. Lizzie's whacking.
It's off your penis.
I'm sorry. Yeah, baby. Welcome into Cancel This. CancelThisShow.com, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central Time. And live all the time. On our website, CancelThisShow.com. Check us out. Check out all the platforms as well. The video platforms and the audio platforms as well. All right. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house. Big show coming up. We were just showed it. Tucker Carlson really jumping in on the abortion issue right now and getting biblical about it as well. You'll hear from Tucker coming up in just a little bit. You've heard about Russell Brand in the last, UK actor. We brought it up just a little bit. I wanted to wait on it just to hear a response from him because the first response that I had heard from him when he was allegedly, quote, sexually assaulting, raping young girls, allegations from over 20 years ago now coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And most times in life, of course, when somebody blames you or accuses you of something, you're guilty until proven innocent.
Correct.
That's the problem. Or it can be a problem. But anyway, I wanted to wait before we had jumped into it. He responded. So you'll hear from Russell Brand. And does it have anything to do with the fact that he is now destroying the liberal elite all over the world?
Of course it does.
On his show, on his podcast show. And all of a sudden, we're going to go after Brand because he is super popular, because he's calling out the left, because he's calling out tons of immoral. And if anybody knows about immoral, it was him. He talked about it himself, the kind of life that he lived. We'll get into that coming up a little bit later. Also, Annette, yes, I did know that Russell Brand was married to Katy Perry at one point in time, which is interesting.
I had forgotten that.
Yeah, that goes on too. So we'll get into that as well. Talk about the Rumble platform in UK. Now that's under attack. Oh, you speak truth, people come after you. You know how that goes. Lizzie's already talked about it. We'll get into it. Donald Trump tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time, addressing the UAW and union workers. Once again, being presidential, working the job, even though he doesn't have the title, working the job as president. Hey, remember the Chesterfield man with the case of, oh my God, a Christian man with Sound of Freedom's donating money to causes that go after kids. Scott Rosenblum jumped in.
Yeah.
We've got an update on that case for you
good.
as well. And if we have time, we'll tell you about, and this happened last week, but we were slammed on Friday, talking with all that stuff that we were talking about with the Kabul and everything else, the Kabul, Zelensky's new ambassador to rebuild schools in Ukraine, none other than Marina Abramovich.
Say that 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a known Satanist.
Mm-hmm.
And Lady Gaga gave her credit for taking her to the dark side.
Of course.
And this is the person that Zelensky wants to rebuild schools. Always access to children, at least in my humble opinion, makes you wonder what's going on from that point in time. Real quick, stay with us. We're going to talk Colonel Joe Adams, always a fan favorite. We're going to show you our commercials first. Partners. If you know of any, let us know. We've been talking to several right now, trying to find the right fit. Let us know what happens. If you know of supporters, partners, that keeps going what we're doing. But we come back on the other side of this commercial, about 3 minutes or so. We'll catch back up with Colonel Joe Adams, talk about his militia, talk about what's happening from a border standpoint. And also, he's got a big benefit dinner coming up this week. So for Lizzie, I'm Vic, Projo. Stay with us. Like, subscribe, share the show. You can send us stars. We are going to go ahead and get started right now on Cancel This. But first, commercials, back with Colonel Joe Adams.
House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last, like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during our solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Marco! Wait, What, no response? Hi, I'm Curtis Sparks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Kathy O. Big Strick, owner of Experienced Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com.
Attention, anyone who served, lived, or worked at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987. Camp Lejeune's drinking water was dangerously toxic, and base personnel and their families have since suffered cancer and other illnesses. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and were diagnosed with cancer, you may be eligible for significant compensation. Call the Driscoll firm now. Consultations are free, and you won't pay a fee unless we get you the money you deserve. 1-800-805-4800.
As all of you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar, Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
Winties in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winties in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road.
Hey guys, welcome back into cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo in the house. Projo, just let me know if and when we get Joe up and running, and we'll go from that standpoint. Of course, we're here Monday through Friday. News headlines, politics, cancel culture, paranormal, business. We do it all. We really do. Great, but it's great because we get a lot of really, really cool guests as well. Try to get Kelly Mano back in studio Friday as well. She had Comic-Con over the weekend.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that.
And her videos were fantastic that she had been doing. Good morning to everybody jumping in on the line this morning as well. It is Tuesday, September 26th. We're ready to rock and roll here. Okay, one thing that I wanted to get into right off the bat today while we were here and see where we go from the standpoint. People will try to come in and work their angles, but we told you about it. Was all over social media. We started to see updates. Oh, the Sound of Freedom has dirty investors. And if you're somebody who looks at social media, you saw this. And I'm like, there's no way in hell. Well, then when I saw Scott Rosenblum, friend of the show, get involved, and then I was like, okay, something's up. And Scott's like, this guy has been talked about in a way that is not true. He did nothing wrong. And this had to do with a case that had nothing to do with the Sound of Freedom. He gave money. He did nothing illegal. Well, guess what? The charges all against him. Fabian Marta, because he was a part of an investment group. Well, he was arrested and charged with accessory to child kidnapping, according to a Missouri court filing. And guess what? All of that was thrown out because it was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to do, and everybody tried to make it a big deal because he was an investor with the Sound of Freedom movie.
Correct. They wanted to cancel him.
They tried to. Well said. Well, it's great when we can give the updates that you may not hear on all those people who want to be really cool podcasters, and we have the latest updated information, and we're going to be first without having the full story. Shame on you. Run this story. Put Scott's name on it. It was all a lie, and it was something that was done to him by his ex-wife.
Why is it always the ex?
Domestic custody cases. Yeah. Well, people lose emotions when it comes to, Lizzie, I tell you, I mean, when you get in divorce proceedings, I mean, there's a reason people lose weight. There's
sure.
the stress. I was there. Yeah. I mean, you go through shit and it's not fun. And people do some really bad things and evil things. And I hope in some cases, things that they regret. And I guarantee we have listeners and viewers. If you've gone through a divorce, I'm sorry. Some of you may have the perfect little pretty with a bow on it divorce. I know people like you. Shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shouldn't be that easy.
Oh.
We didn't lose any money. We used the same lawyer. It was all wonderful. Like our friend Kelly Maddow.
Yeah, she apparently had a very...
And then there's the rest of us who lose everything.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting a divorce ever because kind of like Kelly, David and I both said we never wanted to be by ourselves to raise 5 kids.
Yeah, cheaper to keep her.
Yep,
that's what I've always...
Yep.
And that didn't go over well when I tried to tell my ex that.
That's funny.
You stay upstairs, I'll stay downstairs. Look at the bank account. I don't care.
Uh-huh.
Damn you. We couldn't agree on that. Anyway. Yeah, I do is look at the comments when it comes in on that. So that was a domestic case. So, of course, you get Scott Rosenblum and you get the facts out there. No, this guy did nothing wrong. And let's see how many podcasters and how much media covers the fact that those charges were dropped. And the Sound of Freedom movie, an amazing movie, had nothing to do with anything. And this guy did nothing illegal. He did nothing wrong. He wasn't crowdfunding child trafficking. He supported a movie as an individual. BS stuff. But of course, we go through life and we see it's always the headlines. But when things actually come out and you don't hear about it. You don't see what goes on. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Everybody's, it sucks, but 10 years removed, that would be a topic for a Friday. It's a divorce Friday here on Cancel This. Tell us your highs and lows and everything in between.
Tell us your divorce story today.
No, seriously, you can, names are put to the side, or if you want to bring names, you can do that too.
We could be Dear Abby, or you could be Dear Vic instead of Dear Abby.
Robert said, I heard the reason divorces were so expensive because they're worth it.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah, it must be nice.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Messy.
I think I might take the basement still. No, I'm kidding. After all that.
Derek says, do you know the number one cause of divorce?
Yeah, he's going to say a joke, but we gave the stats.
He's going to say a joke.
We gave the stats on this a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm, we did.
I don't know. It's that marriage.
Mm-hmm. Derek, you are so funny.
He is a man looking after his own laughter and attention. Anyway.
Derek.
No, we'll do that sometime on a Friday.
Yeah, let's do it.
The deep dive on divorce.
Yeah, we should do it because some of our listeners have got some stories.
Everybody has a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Have you heard Joe's stories?
No, I really haven't heard stories. Joe, you got stories for us on a Friday?
They're so intriguing, I'm sure. But no, I do have a picture of those mugs.
What are you talking about?
The mugs that she was asking me to.
I have no idea what she.
Okay, well, go ahead and show them. Okay. Go ahead and show them.
There we go.
Okay, so Crystal, who is our account executive, One came in yesterday. We had a meeting after the show, and there's a business called Ben and Shot, just Ben Shot. And they gave us the coolest glasses yesterday. I'm not sure at this point they're going to be an advertiser or anything, but Joe and I got these glasses with bullets in it. It looks like rifle bullets in it. And of course, yeah, so it was perfect. I already have it on my my desk at home.
I guess the football's for me.
Yeah, the football is for you. The football is for you. So I wanted to give a shout out to them. It is all American made products, and they've got the coolest things, and it's Ben Shot. So you can look them online if you're interested.
Thanks for the mugs. We appreciate it, guys.
It was awesome.
All I can say, can you put the picture back up? If anybody's wondering, Joe's a professional photographer as well. If you would like to hire him for anything, if you have any sort of, you can thank me later, Joe.
Thanks, man.
Joe,
that's literally an iPad shot. But
I just wanted to let people know.
Thank you.
That's our studio. And it's a terrific shot.
Yeah, it's just
because it doesn't even look half as good as what you made it look.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's all good. All good in the hood right there. Ben Shot with a bolt in the glass. That'd be good for Colonel Joe Adams. Maybe we would get him one of those.
Yeah, we should get him one of those.
Have a rifle and
yeah. He would like that glass.
Hey, Colonel Joe, good to see you, man. How you been, buddy?
Hey, good morning. How you doing? Long time no see.
Good morning to you, my friend. You look younger. Did you get some Botox?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. No, I got 5 hours sleep last night. That's the difference.
There you go, my friend. You look good. I mean, seriously, you look like you've aged down about at least 2 years.
That's just on the outside, though. So
yeah, I got you. Hey, buddy. Good.
He does look younger, though.
He does.
Really does.
You look good, man.
You look great.
Somebody do some makeup. Did you lose weight? What do you do? Why do you look so much?
Fantastic.
I feel great. I mean, I'm just, I run into people all the time, like, they're complaining about all their aches and pains and illnesses. And I said, well, how old are you? And they're usually about 10 years younger than me. I have nothing. I mean, my wife calls me the freak. I'm in perfect condition.
You are.
You are a perfect specimen. Perfect.
Hey, buddy, you've got a big event, and it's big about what you do. And if you can remind people what you do, it would be great, and why this dinner this week and this banquet dinner is so important.
Well, this is our second banquet, so I guess we can call it second annual.
Yeah,
and
you can.
Last year we knocked it out of the park, and this year we're going to knock it into orbit. My friends are coming in to do the speaks. Sammy Davis, Medal of Honor recipient, and the real Forrest Gump that in the movie, and then Colonel Doc Ballard's coming back, Medal of Honor recipient, 8 Purple Hearts. Give me a break. Who has 8 Purple Hearts? And then that Joey Jones is coming in to be the key speaker from Fox News, who, of course, lost his legs in Afghanistan and is going to talk about how to overcome situations and turn it into a positive note, which is hard to believe, but that's he's an incredible guy, and people are really going to enjoy it. And we've got a lot. Of course, this is a fundraiser to raise funds to support first responders. And also to mention that the Washington Guard has been asked to join the Franklin County emergency response team with law enforcement. So
congratulations.
That's a huge thing that they appreciate us to an extent in our professionalism, the fact that they would ask us to assist them, and we have. So anyway, all good news. It's October the 7th is the banquet, and there's there's a live auction also, of course, and got kind of funny stuff, and people are more impressed. They ask what's in the live auction. What do you auction off? Well, I'm auctioning off a free tank driving lesson in my tank, and then I contacted Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees and asked him. I thought it would be kind of interesting to have with all these heroes and hard-ass military people to have Mickey show up and entertain. And unfortunately, he's already booked that weekend, but he did send me one of his 12-string guitars autographed. So we're gonna autograph off Mickey Dolen's 12-string guitar at this heroes banquet. Yeah. So anyway, and people seem to be more excited about Mickey Dolenz guitar than getting a tank driving lessons for me. So I can't help that.
I can't even imagine that. I was there last year at your event and it was fantastic. So you want the tank lesson, all about the guitar, but you need definitely a tank lesson for sure,
Yes.
Colonel Joe.
Everybody needs to know how to drive a tank, just in case.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Hey, Joe, can you give people some? Are you still selling tickets, or are you sold out?
We're coming close to being sold out. So what they can do is go to everything's online, of course, today. So they go to the WashingtonGuard.com, click on events, and they can buy their tickets there. And also, if they mention in comments at the bottom that they heard about this on cancel this show, and then they get a discount. So, but this is, people don't really like last year when you were there. This event is hard to believe that something like this is happening in this area. To bring these gentlemen in who are national treasures to meet the public, talk to them, walk up and touch them, take a picture with them, and to hear their stories about doing the impossible. These men, the things that they've done to the average person would be impossible, but they did it. So these people prove that the impossible you can do. You just got to get up and do it. So amazing people, and everybody will have a good time. Last year, I mean, it was just incredible. I mean, it's hard to explain because I'm just an old Marine. So, but when you see these gentlemen and talk to them, it's life changing. It really is.
Talking with Colonel Joe Adams, he himself was nominated for a Congressional Medal of Honor. You'd be hard pressed to find anybody who did more work on the border protecting women and children who'd been trafficked at one point in time. Even rumors of $1 million hit on his head by
rumors. Rumors my ass. Okay,
you knew about it, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, when they first put a bounty on my head, it was $100,000, and frankly, I was offended. And it finally went.
That should have been way more than that.
Well, how dare they?
Yeah, how dare they?
So eventually, it became $1 million bounty on my head, and I can live with that. Should be more, but anyway.
Well, I'm glad you're here with us, and you looked them straight in the eye at the border for many years, and said, "Yeah, come and get me." And you've helped so many people, so many men, women, and children and families. And of course, we see the craziest. I use a term that you said, we didn't have a problem at the border. We had a disaster at the border. And now we see what's happening. In a lot of senses, what you told us, told me at least, 5 years ago when you met me, what we would be seeing. I just don't want to talk about, maybe we should be talking about more so what you also told me, which people are not going to want to hear. And that's the horrible negative things that are going to happen of all the people being allowed into this country. But maybe you should remind people about some of the things that you think are going to see happen, because what you told me 5 years ago was playing out right now.
Yeah. And when I told you early on, when I called the border just total chaos, people didn't really think I knew what I was talking about or didn't appreciate it. Well, now everybody's talking about chaos, and it's only started. New York's got a taste of it. Chicago's got a taste of it. California's got a taste of it, but who cares about California?
There's some good people there.
There's going to be a huge, huge problem. And with all of these things are indicators. And that's why I moved to Washington, Missouri to start the militia, the Washington Guard, and to help protect this community. And because I know the problems that are coming, and it's going to affect everybody. Right now, people like in the urban areas are thinking, that's too bad about the big cities. Well, the big cities' problems are coming to a neighborhood near you.
Absolutely.
And so this country's in big, big trouble. And then there's several things, if you ever want to have me back on the show, there's some things that I gathered that I didn't talk about because they're so unbelievable. But now they're starting to surface, and it's much more. I mean, we're being attacked by so many different directions, and that's part of the problem. I mean, the Democratic Marxist Party in this country is destroying us. When Levine said that the Democrats hate America, It's true. They really do.
It is definitely true. It
It's
is.
the leadership hates America. The other people that hate Trump are Democrats, but they don't see what's going to happen. They think that they somehow are going to escape this thing, and they're not. They're going to be victims like everybody else. So
Mhm.
all I can say, people get ready to rock and roll because this country is in a downward spiral, and it's getting worse.
How long do you
Yeah.
think it'll be before our smaller towns? I know that there's already illegals in the small towns, but how much longer do you think is the small town or a small suburb is going to be in serious peril?
I
You
would
mean in the
say
St. Louis area?
Anywhere in the
That's
United
already
States.
happening in the southern
Yeah.
states.
No, I get that, but I mean in the normal small towns that people don't see them, but we know they're there. People don't think they're there.
Well,
They don't. They don't think
when
they're there.
when you guys had the governor Parsons on your show months and months ago, I was texting, trying to get through to you to ask him one question. When he said on your show that in the future he expects a real problem with this illegal immigration and people in Missouri,
Mhm.
and but the follow-up question should have been, well, if for example, if you went to a doctor and they detected cancer in its early stages, wouldn't you take the precautions and the remedies to cure that now instead of waiting until the cancer is is controlling your body and you're going to die? But we have an ability now to do something about the illegal immigration and the people that's coming in here who we have no idea who they are. Why are we waiting until it happens and it's overwhelming to do something about it? So Parsons has no answer. I mean, I don't. It doesn't make sense.
Who has an
I,
answer? I haven't even heard one governor in this country have an answer.
I try and get in front of problems. Well, example.
Yeah,
I
but
know.
you're not in politics. You're a badass who's taking care of issues, and you didn't have to worry about people's feelings, and that's why you got things done.
Well, that's true. I do not care about people's feelings. Uh, I've been in the intelligence industry for 53 years, and I try and get ahead of the problem, which is exactly why I moved to Washington, Missouri, to prepare because I couldn't obtain a defensive posture in St. Louis because of just the numbers in you can't do that. And also I had a lot surrounded by neighbors who were, didn't believe what was coming. And of course
Mhm.
now they're going to suffer for it. I moved to Washington to
Not
get ahead
Clayton, they won't.
No.
That's for certain.
But really, I moved to Washington, Missouri to get ahead of the problem. At least out here, I can obtain that defensive posture that we need
Right.
for this community.
Yeah.
So,
That's true, because where you moved from, you couldn't do much about it because no one believed what you were saying.
Hey, Colonel Joe, we're going to have Governor Parson on in the next 2 weeks. What do you want me to ask him?
well, remind him what he said on your show the last time, the fact that he thinks there's going to be a major problem in this state because of this illegal immigration and people coming here. And ask him, I said, and the same thing, ask him, what do you plan to do about it? And why aren't you doing something now, getting ahead of the problem?
Okay, I'll ask
That,
him.
I'm serious. I mean, that's true. They're talking about organizing a state militia. People think there's a state militia already. No, there's not. And thanks to Mark McCloskey, somehow my name got on that list as far as possibly the head of a state organized militia. I mean, I've talked to there's probably 50 militias in this state alone. But they're
Damn.
not like the Washington Guard. The Washington Guard, without a doubt, is militia. I'm not going to deny that. We military trained branch of that militia, but 90% of what we do, and thank God for the girls, the women here in this area are probably the biggest asset to this militia than the men are. We recently had a memorial for a couple of fallen police officers, and the county wanted to know, is it possible that we could put together some food for the memorial? In 24 hours, the girls organized and fed 2,000 people. Who can do that?
Yeah,
A civilian organization
That's impressive.
can
Yeah.
put together 2,000 meals overnight. I mean, I give them all the credit. On the military side and skills, for me, that's easy. I've done it all my life. but the organization of the Guard, internally, the logistics of support, we have a special team just to address tornadoes. And now I'm developing a special team to address the river, our back door, that when things finally collapse, the river is going to become a real issue. So now we have a river guard. So I'm trying to cover all the aspects, but I have to give my logistical support teams that support our militia all the credit. They're incredible.
Talking with Colonel Joe Adams with us this morning. Before we let you go today, I don't know if you've gotten intel, you've been studying it, you've been seeing it, but one of our viewers brought the question up too, to address the legitimate concerns that our government is working with cartels, and not just Mexican cartels, but cartels all around the world right now.
Yes.
And what do people need to know?
Absolutely. Yes.
What's happening? What kind of a relationship is that? What kind of quid pro quo goes on with these situations?
It's the deep state. I mean, of course, there's so much money to be made by working with the cartel that no one's going to convince me that, that a branch of our government, covertly, overtly, whatever, are working with the cartels. It's really strange. They just had a big DEA convention or meeting, and of all the countries involved with the narcotics problem, and Mexico is the only country that didn't show up. What does that tell you?
It says a lot.
It really, I mean, the number one problem we have is drugs coming across the border through Mexico, and they have this big conference, and the only country not represented was Mexico. So, like I said before, when I was worked with Border Patrol for 12 years, nobody knows the border better than I do in this area. I mean, but the problem is not stopping them at the border, which we are not. And we basically, to stop the drugs, stop the illegals coming across, which they will not do, is to invade Mexico. I mean, you can't defend a situation and not take the fight to the enemy. And they're not doing that. This is all just follow the money, follow the money. This is horrible. When Obama was in office, he tried to destroy the Border Patrol intentionally. Trump gets elected, all of a sudden we were winning, and we stopped it. In my sector, when I left out there working on the border, we were down to 400 apprehensions a month. In fact, it was actually boring. 400 a month. I mean, we used to pick up groups of 90 at a time out there coming across, and we were down to 400 apprehensions in 30 days, which is why I retired. We were winning because of Donald Trump. I told over the weekend, and they're up to 4,000 a month.
Yeah, it's sad. We've been talking about it and given those totals.
Who are these people? I gave the Attorney General a video of Middle Eastern types in full camouflage and battle gear coming across the border, and as far as 40 miles deep into the border. And he said, well, that's just terrible. And I explained to him, he said, well, how do you know they're military? And I explained to him on the video and pointed things out. These are military personnel. They're military tactics. They're moving like a military would. And he said, well, can I have a copy of the video? So of course you can. Where'd the video go? Was it ever publicized? Was it ever on the news? No, we're being invaded. People. In 2005, I spoke and did some podcasts closing down the border. They're not going to close down the border, but they've opened the border. This lying Mayorkas, who should be tried for treason and treated and punished accordingly, they just lie. So the Democrats and this totalitarian regime running Washington now, they're like, well, we'll just lie. And a certain people believe this stuff. The border is more secure now than ever. Really? These clowns go down there. These clowns go down there for a day. They go down there for a day for a photo op on the border.
Hey,
working on the border.
Colonel Joe, you should look up a guy. We bring him on occasionally now. He's been down at the border working, former Army military recruiter. His name is John Rourke. You should check him out. He'd be an amazing speaker at a future event that you have. We have him on. He's got Operation Cleanup So he was down last weekend. He goes in and he cleans up after these people come in, leaving all kinds of trash, needles, dirty everything. And then he videotapes it and he sends it back and he shows people what the hell's going on there, how they're getting in. He reminded me of a younger Colonel Joe. I mean, I know there's no equal to Colonel Joe, especially a younger Colonel Joe, but the guy's trying to make a difference. And it'd just be a good guy for you to connect with at some point in time. John Rourke, you should check him out.
And that, you know, people don't understand the destruction to my pristine desert that these people do. I can show you video and photographs of 5 square acres of trash 3 layers deep that they leave behind. They have no respect for our country. They're not coming over here to be Americans. I mean, this problem is out of control. We had it under control, and they threw it all away. All the work that I did for 12 years, what was that for? The only benefit, people ask me, so don't you kind of feel frustrated the fact that you worked down there for 12 years, got the border secure? We had taken the border back from the cartel, taken it back. As of 2010, the cartel controlled the border. During Donald Trump, we took it back. And now look at it. It's worse than ever.
Well, we appreciate the work that you're doing right now, especially with the Washington Guard. Your dinner coming up again. Remind people how they can buy tickets or where they can go to get tickets, Colonel.
I guarantee you, if they come to this event, they will not believe what they see in these great men. TheWashingtonGuard.com, click on events, and you can get your tickets there. And make sure you put it at the bottom of the site on comments that you heard on your show, cancel this show, and they'll get a discount. But this is going to be an unbelievable event. It's hard to describe unless you've seen it. And of course, you saw it last year. So
yes,
we have a great time, entertained, and please come. And this is the most incredible patriotic event held in this area ever.
And it is. If you're in this area, I highly recommend you go. Not only is there fantastic speakers, you walk in, and Colonel Joe is not exaggerating. When you walk in, it is so patriotic and well done. It's actually very elegant looking. And when you leave, you're both inspired and fearful. And what I mean by fearful is they tell you the truth of who's invading our country and what all of these military men had to go through to keep our country safe. So I highly recommend you go.
Colonel, whatever you're doing, continue to do it. You look good. You sound good. You say you feel good. And we'll keep in contact, my friend.
Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you soon.
All righty. Colonel Joe Adams, always good to catch up with
Colonel.
him. And of course, telling it real, telling it how he sees it. Once again, I know I've said it lots of times. It's been a while. The movie Rambo 4 was loosely based on his involvement in an overseas mission. I think he trained armies in 30 different countries.
You know what I think is so weird is, and to your point of what you're saying, Colonel Joe really is a badass, and I'm surprised.
He ate bullets for breakfast.
Yeah, and he didn't touch on it as much, and he was a little bit more subdued than normal, but I'm sure when you go to his event in October, he won't be subdued because these illegals, both Middle Eastern, Hispanic, wherever coming over, are in his town, in his very town and the surrounding towns in Franklin County. Like a lot are there. And they obviously don't know that Colonel Joe is there because I don't think they'd pick that town if they knew who he was.
Yeah.
Just my guess.
Yeah, but we like to catch up with Joe every now and then, Colonel Joe. So, and that's why, he doesn't get down to the border like he used to.
Correct.
He owned it for a long period of time. And that's why I love talking with John Rourke. Love to connect those two because John is at the border. He's a younger guy with lots of energy who is going there, taking videos, cleaning up trash, dealing with people, report. You can't report illegals anymore. I mean,
no, you can't even report it. Nobody's
everything's changed.
Yes.
Everything has
you can't
changed.
report or deport because they're just allowed in here all over the place.
They really are. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust. That was Colonel Joe. Lizzie Sparks alongside. Pro-Joe in the house, taking care of everything from a technical standpoint, making sure we look and sound as good as we possibly can, because there are so many things going on in the world. Of course, I want to take some time to talk with Colonel Joe to make sure people understand what's happening this weekend and what's coming up. Okay, we talked about the case being dismissed with the Chesterfield man. He was not a child trafficker. He's a normal, everyday Joe, just like me, just like Pro-Joe. Case finally dropped. Congratulations to him on some justice being served to him in regards to rumors being spread about him. Okay, this is very interesting to me, because when it comes to issues in our country, there's a talking point when it comes to abortion, and Democrats leading the way or having votes because of, quote, the abortion talk, the abortion battle. It's always one of those topics that can be a sticking point for conservatives or Republicans. Can you do this? Can you do that? I find it interesting. Tucker Carlson has really come out really strong in regards to breaking down society when it comes to abortion, and breaking down abortion in society going back to the beginning of time. And he was speaking about this at a banquet, and here's Tucker really breaking down. This is about 2 minutes talking about abortion, because of becoming a political, talking piece when it comes to deciding how people are voting. Are you really going to turn to one party this way or that way, regardless of how you feel on the subject? Here's at least Tucker talking about this subject for about 2 minutes.
So I'm really struck by the ballot initiatives that your voters will be facing in November. And I'm struck because they're so very different from the politics that I covered for the bulk of my life. I'm 54, been covering this stuff since I was 22. And for most of that time, the debates that we had in the political sphere were over competing visions for how to improve people's lives. The minimum wage was always a really intense debate. And I always felt like maybe the minimum wage killed jobs, I guess. That's what my side said. And I think that's probably true. And the other side would say, but people need more money to live, and so we're going to mandate that they make this much. And it was I was on one side of it, but I could also sort of see the other side. Both sides were at least pretending to try to improve the lives of the people who voted for them. But when you wind up in an election where the two top ballot initiatives are, one, encouraging people to kill their own kids, and two, encourage their kids to do drugs, who's benefiting here? I'm serious. The one unalloyed source of joy in your life is your children. The point of life is to have children and to watch them have grandchildren. Nothing will bring you joy like that will. Nothing comes close. Nothing comes close. Would you trade your job for your children? Would you trade anything for your children? Of course not. And so anyone telling you don't have children, kill your children, is not your friend, it's your enemy. And by the way, it's a very recognizable promise that they're making you, because it's as old as time and it's chronicled in great detail throughout the Hebrew Bible. It's human sacrifice, which rears its head about every 4 chapters, and which is singled out for approbation every time. Of all the sins the ancients committed, that sin, every single time it's described, is called detestable, at least in the RSV. Detestable. God singled that out. Throw your children into the fire. Now, why were people doing that? Because, of course, they believed they were getting power and contentment and happiness in return. All it's going to take is to sacrifice your children. This is as old as time. Every civilization on the face of the earth has engaged in it.
Okay, Tucker Carlson bringing up his opinion when it comes to abortion. And I had never, heard him speak like that when it comes to that specific issue.
Well, and I love it because since he's been on X, the true Tucker has come out. Because when Tucker was first on Fox, he did the kind of like a cheesy thing, as we all know, where he would bring in the craziest liberal he could find and then just kind of jar with them. And I honestly always wondered, was he one of the Fox Democrats or was he? Now it leaves absolutely no doubt who he is. He is a Christ-following, Bible-based human who knows, and he's speaking the truth, in my opinion, too. If you choose not to have children, that's fine. But if you choose to kill your own baby, no matter how you do it, whether it's abortion or whatever, if you have a conscience at all, it will sneak up later. And I'm not condemning people who have. I actually would want to give you a hug, because the grief that you're going to have when you realize you stopped a generation of people. For example, now as a grandma, I can't explain to you how profound what Tucker said is. You love your children, there's no doubt about it. But when you have your grandchild, I'm not saying you love them more, you just love them different because you see your child raising the next generation, and it's profound. And if you want to ruin a society, kill your children. I absolutely agree with him. Absolutely. He was spot on.
Now, when it comes to the marketing of abortion, if you're for or against, clearly you know what the other side says and all the issues and how it's marketed. What I find interesting with this is I try to always go a little deeper on a story where former President Donald Trump stands on this, because just Saturday he was playing up his anti-abortion credentials, because there's been criticism on comments that he himself said, that Trump said, get realistic about the issue. I mean, I know politicians are going to have to, even a man like Donald Trump, who's basically like, I don't care, I'm a bull in a china shop, I'm running through.
Mm-hmm.
He's even wavered on this a little bit, where let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be honest, where he has tried to curtail the issue too, though, Lizzie, and you love him.
I do. And I don't agree with him on that. And Eric brings that point up, that the Republicans,
he's walking a fine line.
And you know why? And I'm not agreeing with Trump on this at all. The reason why he's doing that is all the Republicans are saying, stop talking about abortion. It's what cost you the election in 2020. That's not what cost us the election in 2020. Cheating is what cost us the election. Now, you can rationalize it.
Abortion didn't cost come on.
Right, but that's what they said. Even Eric said that. People are telling Republicans, stop talking about abortion,
Eric
because
who?
If you do, Eric, our Eric.
Oh yeah.
Eric
Well,
has
yeah,
said
he
that.
says that's one of the issues.
Yeah, that's one of the issues why the election was lost, and that Republicans need to stop making this a focal point. I don't think it's the only focal point, but it has to be. If you are someone that believes in life, you have to make it a focal point. And yes, I do love Donald Trump, and I love a lot of people I don't always agree with. If you could give me someone better that could actually run, that was 100% pro-life, maybe I would vote for them. But there isn't anyone.
And
there's no one.
And I respect people being who they are, doing what they do.
Me too.
And just don't lie. Be who you are. However, keep in mind, when you do certain situations, and you're in certain situations, just remember, once again, I just like to keep the scorecard. Whether you agree, disagree, you're going to have your morals. You feel you're going to show this way, that way. Just remember, in the midterm elections last year, the Republicans lost a Senate seat. They lost a Senate seat to the Democrats, and they won the House by a razor thin margin. And most of the exit polling showed it was because of abortion.
Mm-hmm. That's what they say.
Abortion rights were frequently cited by voters as a major factor in their decision. This is a tough ass topic to talk about.
It is. People don't want to talk about it.
I know two people who regret the decision.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. As Bindi was even saying that on the chat line, you will regret it later. People that I've known that has had a baby and gave them up for adoption didn't have the grief and the hurt that they did if they knew that they had stopped the heartbeat of their baby.
But you will find people who also say, whether they're true or not, stating that, guess what? They didn't regret their decision.
Well, they're selfish.
That may be difficult for you and for me to understand.
Yeah. And they maybe didn't because they didn't want kids. I'm going to put my hat on like them. Okay. It would be because that child is going to take my money. That child is going to take my time. That child is going to get in my way because that's my truth. My truth is all about me. It's all about me. It's all about me. But the real truth is what Tucker said, whether you like Tucker or not. The real truth is a bigger thing in our universe, and it's not all about me. That's the whole problem with our generation today in our country. It's me, me, me. We have to put somebody before ourselves.
Well, that's marketing that we.
It is marketing,
and I blame capitalism a lot on that too.
Oh, I agree.
Feel good, look good. You deserve this. You deserve that.
Yes.
I'm an old ass man now, but I'm grateful that I got the life that I had. My mother was 17 when she had me. Dad was 18. Roe v. Wade was made legal 3 months before. She had a choice.
So your mom did have a choice. So, I mean, this might be too much, but did your mom and dad?
And guess what? There ain't a soul alive that said, "Oh, that's going to work. It's going to be easy." And it took a village.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, I didn't grow up with lots of things, but family took care of the situation. So that's why when I talk to people, I was like, if you really want to go down this road, oh, well, people don't have anything, don't have any money. I mean, there's ways and there are success stories. And I've always felt like I was one of those because of that situation, that a 17-year-old was willing to do. And I'm here because of that, because of someone not taking what might be an easy way. Now, once again, it's difficult. Nobody knows everything that everybody else is going through.
That's true too.
And I do try to have a heart, and I get ripped for trying to have a heart for people and an open mind to go through that. But if you're going to have an open mind to listen to others, then you need to have an open mind and listen to my story as well.
Well, there wouldn't even be a podcast if your mom made a different choice.
If we really want to break it down.
Yeah, if we want to, everybody that's listening, and we have thousands that listen every day, they wouldn't even be hearing this story if your mother made a different choice.
Michelle says she had her first child at 16 years of age. And you know what that's like. And the children know what that's like. Is it ideal? I mean, from a comfort standpoint, is it ideal that a kid is raising a kid? No, it's not. But then there's a lot of other deeper issues too. Is it ideal that a child got pregnant at 16? Is it ideal that a child got pregnant at 17? No, it's not ideal. It's not, but you deal with the situations as they come after you. And then it gets into a moral standpoint.
Yeah, our chat line is blowing up with wonderful people that I know either in person, that I've met, or that I've only known on social media.
And we're a national show. We have listeners all over.
All over. There's people that are all over that are not from St. Louis saying they had their baby at 16. Look at our world would be different if these women and men chose a different path.
It could be. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
It just, Michelle says I wouldn't give up my daughter for the world. I mean, but it also gets into the issue when it comes to adoption, which is an amazing thing.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is.
Especially when you see families, and there are many families who can't even adopt. Our government has made it
very difficult to adopt.
But in some cases, I understand it because you want to protect kids.
I get that too.
And you want to protect that life that is there. But even with people that are checking out pretty damn well, it's been made very difficult, which is sad. It's another, what do you call it? The gotcha days?
I do.
I saw that. I'd never heard that term until you brought it up.
Day. Yeah.
And then last week I saw somebody who, I don't know, maybe one of my Facebook friends or something said, "Oh, it's my gotcha day with their pet."
Oh yeah. Okay. And it is. It's just, it's a day that you got your pet or you got your children. And you know what? Anybody that's ever even thinking about adopting, I'm going to tell you, my 21-year-old is the one that had the gotcha day. And so we have this chat on our phone and our whole family, saying, "Happy gotcha day, Holly Ann, happy gotcha." And she's 21. And this 21-year-old with all of heartfelt stuff said back to all of her siblings, "Thank you that you guys went and got me. My life would be totally different if you had chose something different." And I forget that because when we adopted her, she's just our kid now. So, we forget that she's adopted half the time. We have 2 adopted kids and we treat all 5 of our kids exactly the same. And so I forget that for her, I think we could almost forget her birthday more so than we could her gotcha day. It means a lot to her. It means so much.
Karen says, "I had a baby at 16. Now I have 3 beautiful grandkids."
Love it.
Since I lived it as a child with a kid mom helping raise me and a kid dad helping raise me, I know firsthand how difficult that is. It's not easy. That's why you really have to have that love. And unconditional love.
Yes.
And help. You do need help.
You do need help. Yeah.
I was going to say there is help. I hope there's still help with all of the resources that are going elsewhere. I'm not going to talk about illegals, but Aaron says, yes, Republicans should be working to bolster adoption post the Roe v. Wade situation of 1973, not apologizing for saving lives. That was Karen. Who else said that they had Yeah, 3 or 4 people just said they had babies at 16.
Yeah, we have quite a few on all of the platforms saying that. And bravo to them. And if you find someone that you know has a baby younger and needs help, it's just grandparents these days have got to be more integral in their kids' lives. I am blessed to see my grandchild in between 5 and 7 times a week because she lives so close, and nothing, I could be doing anything. And that little girl walks in my house and I don't care what I'm doing. I just adore that
But
little
sometimes
kid.
there are situations where there aren't family
And that's
for
hard.
young
So
for young
yes,
women, and that's where my
your
empathy.
churches need to help
Well,
too.
yeah, I know, but then, and once again, there's some where women aren't involved in church, and that's
That's true too.
where
Yeah.
my empathy for that situation is big. But as Glenn reminds us, the only people that are for abortion are those who have already been born.
Yes. Well, and Kimberly says
Michelle says I had my first child at 16. Another one.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Kimberly's saying she was adopted in 1969 and she found her biological family recently and she's so thankful. So she has 2 glorious families to love now. I mean, you just never know where the story is. It may take years and you may never know your bio family.
But with the liberal media and media in general, you know it's going to be a tough sell. Oh, abortion is horrible, because you're not going to hear that. And if anything, you're going to hear an uptick in it. And I brought this up yesterday. That issue, though, is not flying allegedly with research with African Americans and Hispanics as Democrats had hoped for. And unfortunately, I don't want to associate abortion with Democrats, but I do, because they're for it. That's what that party is for. So guess what? They're going to use that, and they're going to use it with the younger generations, and it's working. How do I know that it's working? Because my kids in high schools in the St. Louis area have told me that and it's interesting because it's not resonating with guys, but it's resonating with young girls.
Yes, because they want to be empowered and they want to do whatever they want to with their body.
My body, my choice.
Yes, and that's what they're being told to do. But it doesn't just even affect young people. I had my youngest one at 42, and I was shocked at my neighbors when they found out I was that old when I was pregnant with her. They said, "Here's a number to an abortion clinic." She couldn't. No, literally, they did. They were like,
that would be between you and your family, not for your neighbors.
But I was given by 2 different neighbors at the time cards to go get an abortion because that child was probably going to be Down syndrome or spina bifida. And I said, first of all, so what if she is? Or I didn't know if she was a boy or a girl. And here she said, I had listened to them. She's now 14. There's nothing wrong with her. Nothing. She's brilliant. Of course, I'm going to say that because I'm biased, but she is. But I could not believe that.
No, but I mean, and once again, I'm an old guy, but
I was old when I had her.
My mother told me this, or she was told the same things. It's like, listen, your life, it's almost like your life matters. Even going all the way back to Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be bad. It's going to be horrible. You're by yourself. And here I am. And thank God, I was given a chance at life, and not in an easy situation, in one of the worst situations you can imagine. And when I was a young kid, the early memories, I lived in a trailer park. I was one of those kids that did that, and and grew up and saw everything in life. There was a point in my life as I was growing up too, where I was at a school where I was the minority. It was mostly African American kids, and I was a white minority.
Yeah.
So I've lived that and I've seen it. And that's why I say there's no excuse for anybody to say, I have to do this over a money issue, or I have to do this because there's nobody to raise this kid. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's taking the easy way out. And that's what you have to soak in and really think about. But as we have seen, if you stop the message from getting to the people who are going to make the decision about their body, it will be easier to make that decision. So every person needs to hear all sides of the story, which is what we try to do on Cancel This. That's for sure.
Yes. Very good. And Mary says the more that she hears from you, Vic, the more she admires you.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Well,
but I'm
because
nobody to be admired, but thank you. I appreciate that. And I'll take that as a compliment. It's just one of these issues where Tucker Carlson decides to talk on it. And obviously, since he's the most popular man in the world when it comes to media right now, from a podcasting standpoint, it gets clicks and it goes full circle. But when it comes to a political standpoint, it's also, just because how society is, I'm telling you, it becomes a lightning rod for Republicans.
It
It
does.
does.
It
And
does.
I'm not speaking from a moral standpoint. I'm talking from a voting standpoint of just where society is right now. And we say we welcome all opinions.
We do.
And backing it up with how you feel from that standpoint and why you feel the way that you do. A lot of times people have stories which get them to where they are. Also, lots of trauma. Everybody has trauma.
Yes.
Everybody, man, woman, child. I mean, people have trauma.
Yes.
And
the world's full of trauma.
Well, it's easy to think, however, there's just, when you have trauma too, it also affects decision making as well.
That's true.
So I'm curious to see, you hear Tucker bringing something like this up. Does it change a Donald Trump? Does it change his messaging? Because just like I said, he has told Republicans to get real on the abortion issue. And then Saturday, he's trying to say, well, and come back to being a hardcore against abortion politician.
Right. Well, and like I said, that is one thing I do think he does. I'm just being honest. And I do like him, but he does waver on that.
I like him.
I do like him. He does waver on that and says it. But part of it, and I'm not saying this to defend him, part of it is messaging and how the mainstream media cuts up what he says. But that would be the number one topic. I would like to talk to President Trump when I sat down with and talk to him about that and just say, why does 1 minute you think it's okay, the next minute you waver a little bit? Because I have a feeling it's who he surrounds himself with. If it is somebody similar to what Eric had said, and people that I know in the Republican Party are being saying, downplay the abortion thing, downplay or you're going to lose, downplay or you're going to lose. So that's what a lot of Republicans are doing, is because they don't want to lose. So they're downplaying their belief in abortion one way or the other. And we know absolutely that the left is pro-choice, but we don't know on the right what everyone thinks, because it's a mixed bag there. It really is.
Such as politics.
That is. Politics is a mixed bag.
It's how it goes. But anyway, personally, I commend Tucker. You already gave your post for it.
Yeah, I already did my
I commend him for
soapbox.
bringing it up and not just saying it, but also getting back and bringing history, bringing scripture into it as well, from early societies and where we're going. By the way, you can check that out on his Twitter account as well. It's an 8.5-minute speech that he gave. We weren't going to play the whole thing, so we did the 2 minutes that we had there. We'll continue to follow up on that story and see what's happening when it comes to political polls, polling, and so forth. But I do find it interesting. Don't forget, last midterm election, the Republicans were supposed to roll over the Democrats, and they didn't. The Democrats picked up a seat. Remember that. They picked up a seat in the Senate. They picked up a seat. And also the Democrats didn't lose as many House seats, and the Republicans have a narrow lead there as well. So it is. Clint goes now back to COVID.
Yeah, everything always goes back to that, doesn't it?
No, we refuse to.
Oh, today I'm just kind of over
but you
it.
know what's interesting?
Yeah.
I 3 different people yesterday brought up issues. They were pissed off at Travis Kelce for promoting Pfizer.
Oh, well, yeah. People were sending me, some of our listeners were sending me pictures of his commercial where he is literally putting that in his arm. And I'm like, dude, leave that alone. If you want to go get it, fine, but stop pushing it. Because my question is always, what's in it? No one can really tell you what's exactly in it.
But it was interesting because with Travis Kelce doing it.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen a professional athlete do that.
Yeah, I lost
He
all
was the
respect
first
for
one.
him. Gosh, and I liked him prior, even despite.
I didn't lose respect for him.
I did.
But here's why. If people want to get it, get it.
I agree.
But
if they
don't
want to get it,
force me to get the crap.
Right.
That's the whole situation.
And that's what it was like. He was guilting, like, you're a bad person if you don't get it.
I didn't think he was doing
Oh,
that.
I did.
He's not making.
I did.
He's smiling. He's like, hey,
he's like,
I got my cupcake. I got Tay-Tay in my booth. I'm doing well.
I got Tay-Tay in my. He really is living his best life right now. He
Hey,
really
a follow-up. I don't know if you know, maybe some people in the St. Louis or Kansas City area knew this, but when they left, and we showed the video yesterday with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, by the way, all pro tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, all around good guy, great dancer. When they left Arrowhead yesterday, Taylor Swift called ahead to the, I think it was an Italian restaurant, and paid for everybody's bill.
And the whole restaurant?
In the entire restaurant. Now, I don't know how you take this or not and how you would feel, but put yourself in this situation.
That'd be cool.
You're having dinner on a Sunday night. It's not a Friday night or a Saturday. It's a Sunday night. You're having dinner at a nice place. And your server comes up to you and says, excuse me, your dinner has been paid for, but we need you guys to leave as soon as you can.
And I want to know why, though.
Well, Taylor Swift bought out the restaurant with Travis Kelce. So Taylor called ahead, and they can't, because she can't go anywhere.
Right.
I don't blame her because you can't go anywhere when you get that big.
No, I get that. I get that too. As long as she pays my bill, that'd be fun.
And you can never sign enough autographs. You can never shake enough hands.
Yeah.
You can never respond to enough emails. And then, so I get it.
Yeah, I
do get it, because when I was in local news, I mean, you go out, it's, if there's one autograph or one picture you don't take, or if you don't respond to one, it's like, oh my God, he's such a dick. It's like, no, where are the other 99 that I did and I had a chance?
Yeah, and you just missed one.
So Taylor Swift, who is arguably one of the most popular people in the world, calls ahead. So she bought everybody's dinner, took care of it, drinks, whatever the case, but people had to leave and get out of there.
I'm not sure what I would think.
So her and Travis could come and enjoy dinner together. And I'm sure with her team and maybe his family, his mom, who was there. And we saw her team jumping and having fun in the box.
Yeah.
Would you get up and leave?
No, I would sit there and eat really, really slow as I was being asked for a doggy bag. I'd be eating like this.
No, you wouldn't.
Really slow.
You're not like that.
Really slow. No, in all seriousness, I really would just take my doggy bag to go, because I could always come back. She's probably not there all the time. And I do get it. I mean, well, I don't get it. I'm not Taylor Swift. No, nobody, I can't clear out a restaurant, but I think I would leave, right away. I think I would. But I would eat my last bite really slow.
Taylor says, will Tay administer mouth to mouth when Travis goes full Damar Hamlin on the field? That's not cool, Aaron.
Well, Robert just said order carry
I hope
out.
she could race down. Oh yeah, carry out.
Yeah, just say, okay, I'll leave, but then just give it all to go.
As a matter of fact, I would like to get a nice bottle of that red wine right there as well. Can I please take that with me?
I guess you could do that.
Can I please see your wine list now? That's exactly where I would be from that standpoint.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And just order.
Not that wine list over there, please. Yeah, thank you.
The one I normally can't use. I would get that. And I'd say, my relatives were all going to come and sit with me. So I have to, get 7 more meals, maybe 10 more meals.
No,
give me a whole bunch. Give me 10 prime ribs and all the lobster.
Glenn Thompson says Justin Timberlake just wanted a private room at Circle 7. Is that a true story? By the way, for our national listeners, Circle 7, another great place in the St. Louis area, just like Winty's, which we talk about. My friend Pete Ferretti owns that. He does a lot of stuff with Mizzou. I'm just curious, when Timberlake was in town, if he wanted a private room, if that's true or not. If it's true, then I'm glad that I brought it up. If not, shame on you for telling me that, Glenn. Anyway, I don't know how people would be, I couldn't imagine, and I didn't hear any follow-up if people are like, oh, we got to race, we got to get out of here. But no, but I think people, you finish up, you eat if you leave.
Yeah.
I would have said, you know what? Okay, thank you. But some people are like, I wouldn't take her money. And I have a different perspective on it. I'm like,
I'm not one that takes people's money either, but this is what I've learned too, is that sometimes people, they're giving something to you, even if they don't know you, is their gift to you. And if you don't take a gift, think about it. If somebody wraps you up a present and then you feel ill at ease, and I've done that, you don't need to give me a present. I mean, I didn't even know you were going to give me one, so I'm not going to give it to you. And that person said to me, if you don't take it, you're going to hurt my feelings because you're going to hurt my joy. That was my joy to give that to you.
That's interesting. I had another interesting situation on Saturday. I had a guy, and keep in mind, you guys know, because we starting a business is not easy, but he has no idea about any of the finances that are going. He's like, I wanted to do something for you. And he stuffed $100 in my pocket. And I threw it back. It's like, you're being rude. You're being rude.
Yeah.
It was at an event.
Oh, that's very nice. So, and you know what?
And he started getting angry when I threw it back at him.
Yes. Because you took his joy away. Now, if you
the joy of giving.
Well, because if you went everywhere,
it is better to give than receive.
It is better to
I'll
give
stop right
than
there.
receive. It is better to give. And you take that person's joy. But I would have been like you. I'd have been like, no, I can't take it. Because my first reaction would be like, what do you want from me for it?
Hey, by the way, Glenn said, yes, Timberlake was in town. And all he requested was a private room at Circle 7 for him and his family. That's pretty cool. And then when they're, I guess if they come to your restaurant, you're not taking pictures. Just like, 2 weeks ago, Craig Berube, he's out around, St. Louis Blues coach. He's at Wenty's hanging out, watching the Baltimore Ravens, his favorite team.
Cool.
He just wants to be, one of the people, an average Joe, if at all possible.
A lot of really cool people go to Wenty's. Have you noticed that when you go there? People that I wouldn't even expected to have just been there. Wenty's is a happening place.
Yeah, it might be, especially with Gateway. There's studios in the St. Louis area that are being built all over the place where you have, there's only one place in America where, and Joe, this is going to be good for you too. I didn't even think about this with your show with Audio Inc. You have one place in America where tours go to train. They go, if they're going to be on a stage, they have to put their acts together in a perfect sense. Well, they have to go train somewhere on a stage. That's what those massive concrete, those are basically auditoriums. Right, correct. Yeah. So musicians will be flying into St. Louis. They could have gone to Nashville. They could have gone to Atlanta, but they wanted to give back. The owners wanted to give back to the St. Louis area for the Blues that started in the St. Louis area, Joe. So you're going to have, and they're going to have to fly in somewhere. Strategic Air Services, which leads into our advertising in just a second. But that's what that is for. So before all acts, Taylor Swift, before they go out on tour, they have to get their show together. And there's only one place, it's Pennsylvania, and allegedly it's booked up for 3 years. So that's why they built that in the St. Louis area. So pretty cool story there. Speaking of our advertisers, Strategic Air Services, where we broadcast every day live, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. Your best luxury airline flyers, your best private flying, strategicairservices.net. Kevin and his crew take care of many people, and it sounds like it may be expensive. Well, maybe depending upon where you're going and what you want to do to fly private, but you just may be shocked depending upon where you're going and how many people you're flying with and what kind of plane you're going to fly, where it may make sense just to fly private and not deal when it comes to commercial flying and dealing with TSA and everything else. So check out our friends, Strategic Air Services. Kevin Malutna, strategicairservices.net. You can email them, let them know you heard about them on cancelthisshow.com. Also, Complete Auto Body Repair. If you need to do anything with your car in the St. Louis metropolitan area, there's no better place to go than Complete. Curtis and his crew will take care of you. They'll turn business away. Anything with your car from A to Z, as I like to say. You can trust them. You hear them on our show occasionally. Plus, if you want to work for them, they have over 60 jobs available right now. Everything from technicians with vehicles and 7 climate-controlled facilities. You're not going to find a better place to work, more comfortable place to work, or get a better wage as a technician, or working sales, working promotions, working marketing. They also own towing companies as well. Once again, that is Complete Auto Body Repair. You can go to CompleteAB.com. Let them know you heard about them, of course, on Cancel This. Kathy Hill, Big Strick, Steve Strick, when it comes to Experience Realty Partners, 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. If you're buying, selling, have questions, anything, you can give them a call, no pressure. They will answer your questions. They will work with you to build that trust. You can call Kathy and Steve when it comes to realty, when it comes to mortgage, because as we know now, you don't want to be dealing with this stuff by yourself because the real estate world has changed. It is not a lot of fun. You can try it by yourself, but more times than not, it's not working. And people go back to square one. 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. And Vehicle Protection Group, if you're looking for a car warranty, check them out. They offer the best warranties you're going to find when it comes to your vehicles. They're also looking for some employees. Email Todd at vpcnetwork.com. They literally train you in 2 weeks. Their top people are making 6 figures for taking inbound calls. That's it. You walk in, you take inbound calls. You're not calling people. You're taking inbound calls. Once again, Todd, Todd at vpcnetwork.com. Todd at vpcnetwork.com. And Greenlight Dispensary, when it comes to cannabis, lots of products in their stores all over the place. They have several stores across the state as well. Okay, this is Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house as well. It is Cancel This. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time on our website. Check out all of our original content too. If you haven't seen previous episodes, go in, check it out. Check out our reels on Cancel This Live, or is it Cancel This Show on Instagram? I'm trying to remember right now.
On Instagram, it's Cancel This Live.
That's Cancel This Live. Check it out. We're on TikTok as well. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You can share those reels as well as we continue to do what we can to promote the product that we have. You can also check out our website and check out our merchandise, canceltheshow.com. You'll go to our website, upper right-hand corner. You'll see the blue button, shop merch. We have local delivery or local pickup as well for you. Just give us check out our Shopify site. If you have questions, you can reach out to us on our website. If it's about buying a product, if it's about how long it'll take, if you have business partners, if you have possible advertisers or sponsors, just let us know and we'll get back to you from that standpoint. We appreciate you guys doing that as well and supporting the show as we try to do here. Okay. When it comes to canceling, and we focus on these stories every now and then as well, this is a very interesting story. Pro Joe brought it up to me last week. I said, yeah, I saw it. I want to wait and see what's happening. I want to hear more from Russell Brand, comedian, actor, now super successful podcaster, or at least he was. And I think in time, he'll be even more popular because we saw what happened with Tucker Carlson too. But anytime somebody throws around sex charges, it becomes a much bigger deal.
Yes.
Allegedly, over 20 years ago, all of a sudden we hear allegations that Russell Brand raped and sexually assaulted young girls as young as 16 years of age. These claims came out in the last month. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we're like, wait a second, what? From 20 years ago? So Russell Brand has finally, initially his publicist and people denied it. And then here's Russell Brand responding to these allegations, because now what's happening, we'll get into it in just a second and why it's important, but just remember, he's become a very conservative podcaster, speaking against deep state, speaking against a lot of issues around the world when it comes to governments trying to control us. And then all of a sudden there are charges. I'm not saying that anything didn't happen because none of us know, but here is Russell's response.
Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack, and undermine the news in all its corruption, because in this story, I am the news. I've received two extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff, like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. But amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play? Particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of. And we saw a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out, Russell, they're coming for you, you're getting too close to the truth. Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago there was a spate of articles, Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist, Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me, like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices. And I mean my voice along with your voice. I don't mind them using my books and my stand-up to talk about my promiscuous consensual conduct in the past. What I seriously refute are these very, very serious criminal allegations. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives that these two mainstream media outlets are trying to construct, apparently in what seems to me to be a coordinated attack. Now, I don't want to get into this any further because of the serious nature of the allegations, but I feel like I'm being attacked, and plainly they are working very closely together. We are obviously going to look into this matter because it's very, very serious. In the meantime, I want you to stay close, stay awake, but more important than any of that, if you can, please stay free.
All right. Russell Brand giving you his perspective on some of those things that are happening. I thought it was a fantastic response considering allegations that were made about him regarding what's happened. Where will this go? I have no idea. But I do know there are pushes by certain groups to try to get him, quote, banned, to take advertisers away, just like certain things happened with Rogan, just like certain things with Dave Chappelle. When you get big enough and people know your name, it doesn't work.
Right.
A lot of what I've started to see, it doesn't work. It made Rogan more popular. It made Tucker more popular. It made Dave Chappelle more popular. And I think in time it will make Russell Brand more popular. It has made Donald Trump more popular when people go after other people over and over and over again. Now, does anybody know what happened over 20 years ago? No, we don't. If something horrible happened, now we're hearing about it once he's more of a right-wing or right-leaning podcaster. Now, all of a sudden, there's this push, and there, as he says, evidence of people and witnesses who contradict what people are saying now to try to get him off air. I tend to believe him.
Yeah, and he admitted right there in that video that he was promiscuous. He said that, but he said it was consensual. So now is it those same women that are coming out and saying, okay, he did something to me inappropriately 20 years ago?
Yeah, this is the problem when women come out and say things that are false and fake, because when a woman does come out and say something that's true, maybe there's, oh yeah, really? Yeah. Okay. Something really happened to you. Yeah. Whatever. And you know, it's interesting from our chat line as well. People are reminding us, oh yeah, just remember, we also had the same woman that was accusing, Dr. Christina Blasey Ford.
Yeah. Blasey Ford. She was doing that to Kavanaugh.
To Brett Kavanaugh. And guess what? Media didn't cover it. Oh, gee, we didn't want, we busy news day. We're not going to cover the fact of all the things where it kind of went back on her. Glenn says same agenda they have against Andrew Tate and the Tate brothers.
Yes.
Which is interesting because that kind of just blew by. Oh yeah, we're going to hold you for a while. And then he comes back and then they came after them even harder. Tate brothers did came after those people. And guess what? Nothing's happened to them since.
Correct.
If you speak out, is there going to be something that's thrown against you?
That's the thing where he
can
came
you
out
weather
so
the
bold.
storm when people try to cancel you? Because the Tate brothers, people, there were, whether you call it government, whether you call it political parties, whomever, deep state, one world order, whatever you want to say, there's no doubt they tried to cancel the Tate brothers. Rogan groups tried to cancel Rogan. Good luck. Groups tried to, like I said, with Chappelle. Now you have groups and or people trying to go after Russell Brand. What do they all have in common? They all speak out against cancel culture. They all speak out about big government. They all speak out about kids being trafficked. They all speak out against these same issues. And what do you know? They're coming after him because they're too big.
Well, and he has often talked about how he was promiscuous in his youth, but nobody said anything then. Like you say, you're proving the whole point that he was either apolitical or he was left leaning and they didn't care. You can have sex all over the place and whoever you want to, and they don't care. But as soon as you lean to the right and have a big following, it becomes a completely different issue, completely different. And by who? The mainstream media. It's like you said, it's not holding much water anymore.
Aaron just said, and I think this is important too, Aaron, because I said this on this show when the first situations came out with the Tate brothers. He said, be careful defending the Tates. Sex trafficking and illegal gambling rings aren't exactly a great wagon to hitch onto. I've heard those rumors as well.
I've heard that too.
More so with the illegal gambling rings. I get it. Fair enough. You said it. We put it out there. Do your research and you go from there. But at the same point in time, it doesn't take away from the fact of what they have also, their messaging has been.
Well, and like Jeannie's saying on here, this started all the way back with Bill O'Reilly, and then it comes to find out that there wasn't a whole lot of truth. And then they went...
A whole lot of truth with what?
Well, the same that he had...
his text messages were pretty salacious.
Correct. But a lot of them were salacious back. And I'm not saying he's not a jerk. I mean, I don't know him, but that's where it seemed to have started. But the difference was when they came after Sean Hannity was like, I am not bill. I didn't do this. And he came back and defended himself. So it's all in how if you're guilty, how you're going to handle it. And if you're not guilty, how you're going to handle it. There's proof. If you are guilty, people have receipts. So, so if anybody's going to abuse somebody, the abused person has receipts. So they better come out with the receipts.
I'd love to see some of the real situations when it comes to the Tate brothers. Glenn Thompson coming back and Aaron saying that Aaron's spreading bullshit. I'd just love to see some of the facts of some of those things.
I've not seen receipts. Rumors. I've heard rumors.
The problem in life, rumors get out, whatever the situation.
Yes.
Whether it's in a little town in St. Louis, New York, California, Oregon, whatever, all the way up across the world, rumors get out. And then, of course, that's why it's you don't want to listen to rumors.
Yeah, you got to see the proof.
The best part is just don't talk bad about people behind their backs.
Because you will get caught in this day.
Just don't. There's no need. If anything's going to happen, just happen. Let it go. But I just really want to see what happens with this Russell Brand story because I think it's going to fall apart. I think that whole story against him is going to fall apart.
Yeah.
And it's sad. First of all, if something happened, are you really going to wait 20 years all of a sudden to start saying something when Russell Brand is now a podcaster and not at the height of his career when he was making movies and on tour? Give me a break.
Well, it hurts the people that have really been raped, the women that have really been hurt. And there is such a thing as women getting raped. There really is. I mean, you got to tell your daughters to be careful when you go to a club and be careful. Do not just drink your drink. And if you do, always keep your drink with you because somebody puts a roofie in it and so on and so forth. So rape is a real thing. But the problem is all these false allegations hurts the women that really did get sexually assaulted.
J.M. Grigsby said, this is interesting. Not making light of the situation, but when you think of your calm nature and your chi, he says Russell does these yoga retreats, and it really is surprising that he would be guilty. You can't have a guilty conscience and be a guru in yoga.
Or you shouldn't be.
That's why I brought my voice down to that talk.
Yes.
These retreats are in the UK. Gotcha. Okay. Aaron, I'll give you a little bit more airtime and then I'll move on after this just to give you a response. Aaron says Tate brags about making a lot of money with porn online. The porn industry is known for trafficking. I'd wait until the facts come out in court before jumping back on the Tate bandwagon. Okay.
Yeah, that's understandable. I don't know either way because I see rumors either way for sure. And porn definitely fuels the sex trafficking industry. No doubt about it. My daughter who fights sex trafficking would tell you the same thing. So
okay.
There you go.
This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust here. Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house as well. We're here every Monday through Friday, by the way, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, all the time on our website. Why are you smiling and laughing, my friend?
No reason.
Don't just smile at me.
There is a reason. Projo is looking at us like, you two have lost your ever-loving mind.
Just, I'm on this show.
He's like, I'm on the show with those two crazy asses in the other room.
JM says, why aren't they canceling Hunter? Who's they? I don't know. Deep State Media, whatever. He did much worse on video. By the way, if that's your kind of thing, if you want to, go check out Hunter. Dear God. You want to talk about an exhibitionist? That's Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter.
And hey, I saw.
Just be who you are. Don't lie about it. Just be who you are.
Yeah, when you could just say, yes, I do cocaine. I do have sex with underage children.
And
with
my dad happens to be the president of the United States.
Yeah. Own it, dude. Own it. Dear God.
Oh, I love it. That is great. Hey, speaking of presidents and former presidents, tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Donald Trump back on the national stage. There's a debate going on with the Republican candidates, but there's also this bigger deal. Once again, Donald Trump speaking on the same night that there's a Republican debate that he will not be at. He doesn't really need to be there. We've talked about that. You know who he is. You know what he's about. A lot of these candidates are all the same. There's a very few small things that separate them. In any case, so he's going to speak to the UAW workers and union workers tomorrow night at 7:00.
I would have liked to have seen him instead of the lackluster AOL and Cori Bush out in Wentzville over the weekend. I was hoping it was going to be really juiced up and fun. Nah,
and
nothing to it.
And Biden's at the UAW headquarters in Michigan this morning in about the next hour.
I
or
bet
so.
he has about the same amount of people that was out in Wentzville with AOC.
No, in Detroit, they'll have a lot of people out there for him.
You think?
The guy I brought about this. I know the town. I lived there for 11 years.
And they like Biden.
The union isn't what it used to be when it comes to the Democratic Party. Most of the union members don't want to go as progressive. They don't want to.
They don't. I saw that.
They don't want to be forced. Yeah, you did see it.
I saw it. There was nobody there.
You saw it in the Wentzville area.
Yeah.
Just outside the St. Louis area in the state of Missouri for our national listeners. If you didn't see our show yesterday, Lizzie was out there and it was crickets for AOC who came to town, and Cori Bush, who was there as well, but that was her home state. So Trump's speaking tomorrow night at 7. We'll check out the ratings because we'd already know. I mean, his interview with Tucker Carlson the night of the first Republican debate was the most watched television interview in the history of America. In the history of America, that's the rating that Trump brought. So Trump's coming back. This topic, it's an important one, but not as popular as Trump coming and doing an interview with Tucker Carlson. But I still think the ratings will be number one. It's going to blow out the Republican debate. Does anybody even care to see who the candidates are anymore? Sorry, Aaron, don't get pissed at me because I know you love DeSantis, but I'm just trying to be realistic.
Well, and DeSantis didn't hardly say anything the last debate. I watched the whole debate and was trying to hear what people were saying. DeSantis hardly talked. He just did that weird smile you do. That you do there. You just do the DeSantis.
And I'm the guy. And I'm the guy to vote for. Our DeSantis. Do we still have that video? It's much better than me doing.
Oh my God.
I don't have it. I can find it.
It's okay. But it was so funny. And
maybe for tomorrow. We get that.
Yeah, you need to get that smile. You know, I will watch the debate.
It wasn't even a shit-eating grin.
He does that smile. It was like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Aaron says Vivek, Christie, and Pence wouldn't shut up.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't shut up. So I really did want to hear more of DeSantis.
He's the best of those candidates.
He 100%.
By far, he is.
None of the rest of them matter, but DeSantis.
We just got to get him to smile and show those teeth.
And he needs to just wait his turn.
Ron, are your people? Give me a call. My rate is $500 an hour, and we will work on your nonverbals, and we'll get your smile in. You'll be like, yeah, hey, I'm Ron. We'll get you all serious. We'll get you looking right. We'll get you okay. Smirking, smile.
And he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, he is.
He just made that funny face. He's going to live in infamy now.
Somebody, can you call him, Joe? Get DeSantis
call
on
DeSantis
the phone.
on. Hey, Aaron does. Aaron really likes him. Aaron, if you can get a hold of DeSantis, we will put him on Cancel This.
It's otherwise known as the second place debate. I was just curious if anybody would even care about that tomorrow night. Okay, one more topic I really want to get into today, and this is a little bit scary to me. And you need to look up the woman, Marina, Abramovic, Abramovich. Marina Abramovich. I first found out about this woman and heard about her. Were you familiar with her yet, Lizzie?
No.
Joe, do you know about her?
Not a clue.
I don't know. I don't know who.
I first heard her name because she became this Star's spiritual advisor.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people, Lady Gaga, talked about how she helped her go very dark and teach her about pain and dark side. Marina is a Satanist, and she's listed as an artist, and just some very bizarre, crazy, dark stuff around her. Several decades ago, as an artist, she put herself out in a museum as well. And people may or may not know about this, and you can look it up. And it was a certain amount of time period where people could do anything to her they wanted. She was an object.
Oh my.
And at first, people were very nice. And she had a table with like 50 to 70 items on it. Everything from roses to knives to abusing mechanisms.
Oh my God.
That's a bit. So for the first couple hours, people were really nice and kind, but by the end of it, there were people doing all kinds of just dirty, mean, horrible physical stuff. Anyway, she says she still suffers to this day from allowing herself to do that quote experiment. The reason I give you that background is just to tell you who she is, to understand a little bit more about her. Why do we care who Marina is in this day and age? Well, Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, has now named her, hired her ambassador to Ukraine to help rebuild schools for kids.
What in the ever-loving hell?
Yeah, here's a little video. I went and found one on TikTok. And all you have to do is look her up. And of course, we try to educate people, and you guys make your own decisions about whatever you want to do. But I found the subject fascinating. Of all the people in the freaking world to bring in to work with kids and allegedly build up schools that were knocked down or been knocked down, they choose Marina Abramovich. Here's just a little bit. And of course, remember, you keep in mind, take it with a grain of salt when it comes to TikTok. But this information should blow your freaking mind.
Viewer discretion is advised. This is not for kids. This is a reaction video about this lady, Marina Abramovich, the one who was chosen to be ambassador to Ukraine.
What you're looking at aren't scenes from a horror movie, but works from a so-called performance artist. An artist who also rubs shoulders with some of the most celebrated and influential figures in our society.
90% of celebrities know this lady.
Everyone from famous actors and musicians to DC power brokers and international financiers.
Rothschild.
Her name is Marina Abramovich, and her work has been featured everywhere from the Metropolitan Museum of Art to a Microsoft commercial. But who is she, and why does she possess such enigmatic appeal to the world's elite?
I am obsessed with this woman. She is so incredible.
Lady Gaga loves
It's
her.
time we investigate who really is Marina Abramovich.
She was chosen to be ambassador for Ukraine by the president to take care of projects with children and rebuilding schools. Why do they always want access to kids?
Marina Abramovich. They call her an artist. She does is shocking.
She's a
Cutting
satanic
herself,
witch.
burning herself, and other such extreme and grotesque acts. Abramovich was born in the Serbian capital of Belgrade in 1946. Hers was a harsh childhood. Her mother, a Communist Party official and military veteran, was cold and oppressive.
I was so incredibly unhappy as a child. We never sit together as a family. We never talk together. We never had any kind of Christmas, New Year together.
That's sad.
It was always very unpleasant and very tense situation. So there's something wrong with me. She was always thinking that I'm doing something wrong here. And I really hated it. So this total control of my mother, total obsessional discipline which I had opposed of me. I had to have my own space. I have to kind of let it free.
It's crazy.
Abramovich began her artistic career in the 70s while living in Serbia. She gained fame in the art world by performing extreme acts of endurance and pain, billing it as performance art.
But you might say that
no.
pain is Marina Abramovich's medium. Deal with it. Back in 1973, she rhythmically jabbed the spaces between her fingers, at times drawing blood.
She almost died in 1974 when she laid inside a burning star, losing consciousness due to smoke inhalation.
This is crazy.
In another famous performance, she stood motionless for 6 hours while attendees were encouraged to
Why do you think they
interact
appointed her
with
to be
in
ambassador
any way
to
they
Ukraine
please.
for the kids?
It's a little bit scary, and there's so much more on this woman. Hey, once again, you want to go do that stuff? Do it. Do what you want. We don't care. Cancel this. Go have fun. But when you're involved with kids, and that's your background, background, come on. And Zelensky, with all of the craziness that's already going on over there, are you kidding me? To think that everything is on the up and up, of all the people that could be chosen, Marina, in an interview that I watched, spoke about Lady Gaga and her spiritual journey that she took Lady Gaga on, saying that when it came to going to the dark side, I mean, that Lady Gaga went further than any other student that she ever had, and became one with pain that she couldn't even have imagined after her long career, like almost a situation where student becomes teacher
Mhm.
about letting your body go and
Yeah.
going to the dark side. And okay, once again, some crazy wild crap.
Really?
Why are you going to be involved with kids and kids projects and school projects in Ukraine of all places?
I wonder if Tony Bennett knew that about her. They were friends.
Oh yeah, whatever. I
I
mean,
mean, just think about that. I mean, that's really dark. I mean, that's some dark stuff.
Dawn says she had a painful childhood and
Yeah.
that will continue with children. Well, we've always said it here too. Hurt people hurt others. And that happens with a lot of us. It goes back to the trauma situations as well. I mean, a lot of us, especially men, us men, we don't want to admit it. And that's why these counseling sessions can be good, because you don't realize what you can become, because it's just life and the crazy life that we live in every day. Someone says severe mental illness. Once again, the whole aspect with that whole situation becomes, we're going to support Ukraine and we continue to send the billions of dollars that we have, our future, to a country and a president that chooses that.
That's so weird.
To work
Yeah.
with the schools.
I guess because wasn't he an actor and a dancer and all that?
We've
And
showed him in
so-
his heels.
Yeah. And so he maybe
And
lived
dresses.
at the dark side. So he knows all about that. It's just really weird. I would really love to know the behind scenes. I would have liked to have talked to Zelensky when he was wanting her to come and do that. And why? Why in the world do these messed up people want to be with our kids? It's sick. It really is sick.
Isn't
But I
it?
would want to sit in the room and hear their conversation and how that's going to come about and how to get more Americans.
What do you
money.
mean? What do you mean? What do you?
Well, like,
You wanna sit in what room?
Well, okay. So people, whenever these big decisions are made, people are sitting in a room or they're talking on the phone or whatever. I would have liked to have heard that conversation when Zelensky wanted her to do this. I would like, how did that conversation go? Wouldn't you like to have heard that conversation?
I don't know. Just be aware. Once again, be careful what you trust, as we always say. I know
For sure.
When we leave here, we always want people, hey, enjoy your life. You have an awesome life to live. It's great to live, but you just can't do it with your head in the sand. You can't. Eventually, the crazy will find you.
Mhm, it always does.
We had breaking news that came out just a short time ago. This is absolutely freaking bizarre. Just a couple minutes ago. And that's a great part about doing a podcast that's live, is the fact that we can bring some of these things up, or at least try to get out ahead of it. Hunter Biden is now suing Rudy Giuliani, former President Trump's lawyer, over the laptop. Now, he is accusing Giuliani of hacking his laptop, saying that there was never a laptop. So now Hunter is back to saying there was never a laptop, after initially saying there wasn't, then saying there was. Now he is saying there wasn't, and that somehow, some way, Rudy Giuliani hacked into his laptop and got the pictures. Is he on coke this morning? What the truck? Rudy Giuliani. I mean, I know desperate times call for desperate measures, and desperate people do desperate things. This is going a little, you can check out, if you look at it, I just saw it on Fox.
No, yeah, it is.
He filed this in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. And it states, or at least Hunter's alleging, that Giuliani is primarily responsible for the total annihilation of Biden's digital privacy.
And that's even kind of old news. I mean, I'm not surprised that he's suing him, but we've known way back that Rudy Giuliani had the laptop, and he gave a lot of that information to Chanel Rion on OAN. She did a whole story about
who
that.
joined us on our show here.
Yes. And I need to get a hold of her and see what she knows about that, because we already know about that. So it's really peculiar that he's now suing Rudy at this time. Why not a couple years ago?
But Giuliani and another attorney by the name of Costello, who was involved in this, they openly admitted years ago that they obtained copies of files from a hard drive that Biden left at the Delaware computer store.
Correct.
That was all the way back in 2019.
Yes.
So just once again, keeping up with the scorecard, Giuliani provided the information to the New York Post. That was back in October of 2020. They published a story then based on Hunter Biden's emails, and they implicated that Biden, or President Biden, was in a business deal with the Ukrainian company that had hired Hunter on its board. Now once again, House Republicans have launched an impeachment inquiry into President Biden. So if there's nothing else they can come after President or former President Trump on with another indictment, which is what they did after each story broke on the Bidens, they came back with something on Trump. This now comes to light. Saying that it was an invasion of his private, which has no legal merit. It has no legal bearing. This is another desperate attempt, but it just came out. Oh, we're going to go after Rudy Giuliani because he obtained copies of.
Well, because they want to stop it in court because they know that Joe Biden is on there too. And so it's all about Joe. People really don't give a frick about Hunter. There's things incriminating Joe on there. And that's a way in his court documents that he can freeze Rudy for a little bit and not have the laptop scene. I mean, it's all a game. It's all this ugly.
Can you get Chanel back on?
Yeah, I will contact her.
See if we get, if we could squeeze her in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Get her in on Thursday. Would love to talk to her, see if we could get her back on to talk about that. But it's another one of those, it's just another embarrassing moment for the Biden family. It's another embarrassing situation for the Bidens that will continue to follow. Obviously, just coming out now, we'll try to figure out more of that coming up, maybe even for tomorrow. Speaking of another embarrassment, not only did we tell you about over the weekend, Joe Biden talking about how great the Black Caucus was when he was talking to the Hispanic Caucus. He also, this gets back to his old rubbing of his legs, his hairy legs, and trying to act like he's black and trying to act like he's accepted by the African-American community once again, which gets back to just be who you are. Stop it. Just stop. Well, now Biden's getting blasted because over the weekend, he was trying to act like he was really cool with LL Cool J. He called LL Cool J like a boy, which historically expressed it can be racial hostility towards Black Americans. That, according to Leo Terrell, who is a Fox insider, a Fox personality who comes on. He, during a speech to the Congressional Black Caucus, he called him a boy. And it was not a gaffe. It's kind of his, it's his lifelong attitude.
Yeah.
Towards the Black community. Several times we've shown sound bites on this show where he makes racist comments about the Black community. He just does.
He really is racist. He is.
And remember telling people Black, if they didn't vote for him, you ain't Black. Remember that comment?
Yep. A lot of Black people did not appreciate that.
And the quote was, he says, two of the great artists at our time represented, I'll read it normal so you can understand it, not like Joe Biden, I'm sorry. Two of the great artists of our time represented the groundbreaking legacy of hip hop in America. LL Cool J. Of course, Biden stammered at that point. And then he says, by the way, that boy's got, that man's got bigger biceps than my thighs. That boy's got.
That boy.
And if you didn't know, it is, and it was a racial epithet, at least when I was growing up, to describe Black men.
You didn't call him boy.
Boy, yeah, you
just don't do that.
It's just respectful.
It is.
And
if Trump, or not even just Trump, DeSantis, you, me, whatever, would say anything about a Black person, call him a boy, and be dead serious about it, we would be crucified. But Biden can call him a boy.
But he doesn't know any better. But as we know, he doesn't know any better. He doesn't know what year it is. He doesn't know what day it is. He didn't dress himself, and it's sad. But anyway, what made me think about that was the whole situation going on with Hunter Biden. So anyway, we've covered a ton today, and we do appreciate Colonel Joe Adams for jumping on, tell us about the Washington Guard, their big dinner. That's a big list. Check out the list. If you go to Washington, is it WashingtonGuard.com, Joe?
Yes, WashingtonGuard.com.
Check out that list of people. I know he said he had a few tickets left.
And the event's October the 7th.
Check that out. That will be next weekend coming up. Good to talk again about what's happening in some of the communities that he sees when it comes to illegal aliens, illegal immigration, not only here, but at the border as well. Okay, what did I miss? What else? Is there anything else we got? Anything else we got to get to or remind people of?
No.
Okay, that's good. Tomorrow, join us. We've got Greenlight, our Weed Wednesday. We've got the Strix in-house. Can't wait to talk to them about some things going on when it comes to some real estate information that I heard this week. Hopefully it's good news. That's for sure. And we may have another surprise interview. That's for sure. Working on Chanel Rion for this week. Eric on Friday. Kelly Mano on Friday. And then we'll see where else where we go. So guys, check out our website, check out our merchandise, get yourself something there. Pretty cool if you want it. Local delivery available as well. You can also let me know if you guys have partners when it comes to advertising businesses to give us a shot and to give their company a shot with us, and or if you have ideas for stories and our interviews. Anything else, Joe? Are we good to go?
I think we're good to go.
All right, buddy. For Pro Joe, Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. Guys, this is cancelthisshow.com. Have a great day. We'll see you for our next podcast tomorrow.